The opinions of your friends and family and loved ones and your fans when it comes to your music
don't mean jack.
Hello rock stars, Matt Vanderbo here. Hey, was that introduction a little too dramatic? Yeah, maybe, probably, but I mean every single word of it. And in this video, I'm going to tell you why the opinions of your friends and family and loved ones and your fans when it comes to your music should not only be viewed as rather suspect at best, but how they can actually be quite harmful to the progression of your musical career. So before we get into this, am I saying that you should never play your music for your friends or family? No, that's not what I'm saying. If you are proud of your music, then play it for the people that you want to hear it. I'm just saying that their opinions should be taken with a huge grain of salt. And you need to be extremely wary of whatever these people say, whether it be lavish praise about how good your music is, or whether it be ultra harsh critiques that tell you to do certain things differently. Because the problem with these people's opinions is they are not coming from a place of insider knowledge. Your friends and your family and your fans are probably only coming at your music through the lens of, is this enjoyable to listen to? Because their history as music listeners is just that. They are casual music listeners. They listen to music on the radio or on Spotify, or they watch the music video on YouTube, and as long as they are entertained or touched in a certain way, then they think the music is amazing. And so that is the lens that they are going to be listening to your music from. When the opinions you really need to seek out are those of industry insiders or people that have been in the sync business for quite a few years. Now, I've said it before and I'll say it again, writing music for sync opportunities is a million times different than writing music that is a hit song or music that you would put on your album or listen to on Spotify. And if you want a quick recap on that, then just watch this video right here. There are just so many different rules and approaches to writing sync music that have no bearing on writing hit songs. And the people that are only used to listening to hit songs are going to be listening through that mindset. Whereas an industry insider or someone who's been in this business for quite a while, they are going to be listening for entirely different things. Now, you guys would be absolutely floored if you knew the number of times I've gone to online music forums and found people bemoaning the fact that their music was rejected by a music library or rejected by a music supervisor or even rejected through the taxi screening process. And these people go on to say,
"But my husband loved it."
Or,
"My kids say it is so cool and it sounds just like Taylor Swift."
Or,
"But my mom said she could totally hear this in a TV show."
Or my favorite,
"But my wife is typically an extremely harsh critic, and she said this song was the best thing she's ever heard."
And these types of posts are almost invariably coming from people who are new to the sync industry that just don't get it. And it's really just a gigantic red flag giving away the fact that these people are new to this side of the music business. And so what has happened is they've taken the opinions of people who just don't know any better, and they've taken in too much of that, just drank way too much of the praiseful Kool-Aid, and now they think their music is something that it is clearly not. And then when they turn around and get the opinion of someone who really knows the business, they find that their music was not at all as usable or suitable as they thought it was. And so it gets to be very damaging and harmful to the progression of your career if you take too many of these opinions in and convince yourself that those opinions are factual. And then you stop progressing and you stop doing the things that you need to do because you think you already have it figured out. And again, the problem with listening to the opinions of your loved ones and your family and your fans is that these people just don't know any better. Now, they mean well, you gotta give them that much, but they don't know any better. Whereas if you play your music for someone who's been in this business for a while, they are going to be listening for entirely different things. I mean, first they're going to pull up a waveform and see if there are visible demarcations where edit points would be, places where it's easier for an editor to jump into your track with their little razor blade tool and slice the piece of music up so that it can start at, say, the 20-second mark without some random note hanging over from the previous phrase. And you can learn more about those by watching this video. A veteran to the sync music business will also be listening for whether your music has a usable lead-in that can be snipped off and placed anywhere in the track, and whether it has a usable sting ending, which can also be placed somewhere in the track. I've got videos about those concepts as well, of course. And a real music insider will also be listening to your songs from the mindset of, does this have an easily identifiable emotion from the very first note? Or can it easily be categorized with a genre label so a music library knows exactly where to place that in their catalog, so when a music editor comes along, they can quickly find your track amongst others that sound similar? And if there is no easily identifiable emotion and you can't easily place this thing in a genre bucket, then your music is going to be rather useless when it comes to getting TV placements. So that is stuff that insiders know that your average everyday listener, like your family and your friends and your fans, just do not know, do not understand, and wouldn't even think to listen for. So you need to seek out the opinions of people who have a history in this business. Those are going to be much more meaningful to you than the lavish praise heaped upon you by your friends and family, as nice as it may be to get that stuff. So the next question becomes, where do you find these types of opinions? Well, a couple of places. If you are a Taxi member, then every time you make a submission to Taxi and get your results, the results will also come packaged with some feedback. And that is great feedback to have, but the only problem is that it is coming at the same time that you might be getting that rejection. And so you're getting that feedback a day late and $1 short. What you really need to do is get that feedback before you submit your music to Taxi, or before you send it to a music library, or before you send it to a music supervisor. Now, another thing you can do if you are a Taxi member is pay for a custom critique. Now, this is a paid service. It'll set you back a few bucks, but is probably worth its weight in gold if you really need that feedback before you submit your music to an opportunity. Another thing you can do is go to the Taxi forums, which I've mentioned before. You do not have to be a member of Taxi in order to use the Taxi forums. In fact, I know quite a few people there who have either never been members at all or were members at one point and are no longer members, but they're still active on the forums. And these are all people who have either been trying to make a serious go at sync music or are actually currently making a living with sync music. And that is a really great place to get feedback and critiques from people who know this stuff. Now, another way to do this is by going to music conferences and meeting people that you can bounce your music off of and get their feedback. And one final way you can approach this, which I highly recommend, is put together a group in your area, wherever it is that you live. Find like-minded people who are also interested in doing this sync music thing and get together in person at the same time and at the same place where you can play your music for each other, bounce ideas off each other, and critique each other's music with the express goal of helping each other get better. This is something that I've done in the area where I live, which is just outside of little old Boise, Idaho. And I've got a group of about 12 to 20 different people who are all trying to make a go at sync music. And we get together at my house every 6 to 8 weeks or so, and we talk shop. We play music, we critique music, we offer feedback, we offer encouragement, and we just get through this thing together. And there's just a huge sense of motivation and security and fellowship that come from being in the same room with like-minded people. And I love my little group so much that I want to show it to you and show you how impactful and how valuable a group like this can be when it comes to getting insight from true insiders and people who are listening for the right things in your music. And I want to share it with you so much that I made a video about it. It's right here. And if you watch this video, you will find out how my music group operates, what we do, and how impactful it is to everyone involved. So watch this video next, and I'll see you there.